Hi students. So in the previous video we have discussed about how the engineering materials are classified. So as I said, engineering materials are basically classified into two categories, metals and non-metals. So metals are further classified into two categories, ferrous and non-ferrous. And non-metals are further classified into synthetic materials, natural materials, ceramics, polymers, like that they have classified. Okay, and we have come across this already. Okay, now let us see what are metals. Metal is an elemental substance in its pure form. So, metal is known as when the elemental substance, when it is in its pure form, we call that as a metal. Whereas an alloy is formed in two or more metals mixed together in the form of homogeneous mixture. When the two metals or more than two metals which are mixed together in the form of a homogeneous mixture, then that is what we call it as an alloy. So examples for the metals are iron, steel, copper, zinc, etc. So as we know, classification of metals, that is ferrous and non-ferrous. Let us get into the deep. What is this ferrous metals and what are these non-ferrous metals? So ferrous metals. Ferrous is derived from the Latin word ferrum, which means iron. The metals which contain iron as its main element, they are called as ferrous metals. And ferrous metal possesses high strength and relatively low cost. Hence, they are used in applications where weight is not the primary influencing factor. Even though ferrous materials are having higher strength and relatively low cost, whereas the weight is very high. When the weight is not the primary influencing factor in some of the applications where we can use this ferrous material because of its high strength and lower cost. So examples are pig iron, cast iron, wrought iron, and carbon steels, etc. So they are the examples for the ferrous metals. So let us see what is this pig iron, how actually it is manufactured, what is the composition of this pig iron, cast iron, wrought iron, and steels. Pig iron. It is the first stage of iron directly extracted from the ore through blast furnace. So when we extract the iron from its ore in the blast furnace, the first metal, the first material we are going to get, that is the pig iron. That is the first stage of the iron which is directly extracted from the ore, that is in the blast furnace. And this pig iron contain higher percentage of carbon, that is about 3.5 percentage to 4.5 percentage, along with silicon and other constituents like sulfur, manganese, and phosphorus. The silicon, sulfur, manganese, and phosphorus are in trace amounts, whereas the higher percentage is carbon, that is around 3.5 percentage to 4.5 percentage. And my dear students, remember, whenever the carbon content is high, its hardness will going to increase. So what is hardness? That we will study in the properties section. Okay, just remember, as the carbon content increases, its hardness will increases. Okay, and pig iron contains, so these contains, especially the contents of the pig iron, they are sulfur, manganese, phosphorus, silicon, and the major constituent, that is carbon, and remaining amount is iron. So these constituents make it very brittle and not directly used as a material. So because of the higher carbon content and because of these constituents, it is very brittle, and you cannot use this directly for the application purpose. So that means you need to process this further so that we can use this for the applications wherever it is required. So pig iron is produced in blast furnace, as I said, and poured in the molds, and in preparation for conversion it into wrought iron, cast iron and steels. As the constituents of the pig iron makes it very brittle and not directly used as a metal, we need to further process it so that we will get the wrought iron, cast iron and steels. Let us see how the wrought iron is prepared and what is the constituent. So wrought iron, it is produced by pig iron, as I said. When you extract the iron from its ore, you will get the pig iron, and if you further heat that using the puddling furnace, you will get the wrought iron. The first content, or the directly you will extract pig iron from the ore, that is in the blast furnace, and taking that pig iron, if you further heat in the puddling furnace, you will get the wrought iron. In this, carbon content is very less. As we have seen, in case of pig iron, the carbon content is very high, that is around 3.5 to 4.5 percentage, whereas here in wrought iron the carbon content is less. Let us see what is the chemical composition. So it contains about 99.8 percentage of iron. It contains about 99.8 percentage of iron, 0.02 percentage of carbon and 0.12 percentage of silicon. As you see, 0.02 percentage of carbon, that is the carbon content is very less. As I said, if the carbon content is higher, the material will become brittle or hardness will increases. Okay, here the carbon content is lesser, means its hardness will be reduced or its brittleness will be reduced, and small amounts of manganese, phosphorus and sulfur will be there. And let us see what are the properties of this wrought iron. So wrought iron is in soft form, that is wrought iron is soft in nature, you can say, because of the lesser carbon content, and it is highly ductile and very high in toughness. And what is this ductility or ductile, what is this toughness, we will study in the properties section. Okay, and due to low carbon content, the melting point will be very high. So one more thing, my dear students, remember, as the carbon content increases, its hardness will increases, whereas its melting point will reduces. So that means we can say that the carbon content is directly proportional to its hardness or brittleness and is inversely proportional to its melting point. As you increase the carbon content, its melting point will reduce. Here in wrought iron, carbon content is lesser, hence its melting point will be higher, because both are inversely proportional. Okay, and wrought iron applications are due to high corrosion resistance. So wrought iron is corrosion resistant, hence it is used in making of steam and water pipes, and for making the engine bolts and railway couplings, the wrought iron will be used. And the next section is cast iron. So cast iron, it is produced when pig iron is remelted in the cupola furnace. We know how the pig iron is extracted, that is in the blast furnace, and if you heat that pig iron in the puddling furnace, you will get the wrought iron, or else if you heat the same pig iron in the cupola furnace, that is remelted in the cupola furnace, you will get the cast iron. The chemical composition of the cast iron is, it contains greater than 90% of the iron and 2 to 4.5 percentage of carbon, which is a little bit lesser as compared to the pig iron, and 1 to 3 percentage of silicon, and the small amount of sulfur, manganese and phosphorus. And the properties of the cast iron are, it is very strong but brittle. As I said, carbon content is a little bit higher as compared to the wrought iron, It's again brittle, whereas it is very strong. And it has relatively low melting point. Because of higher carbon content, its melting point will be reduced. And it is wear resistant, and it possesses good fluidity. Fluidity means it can easily flow when it is melted, that is in the liquid form. And it has poor ductility and malleability. So, what is this ductility and what is this malleability? That we will study during the properties section. And the cast iron is basically used to manufacture the lathe beds, railway tracks, etc. And flywheels of the machine frames, flywheels, machine frames, as well as columns, etc.